Hello, everyone. Welcome to Virtually Speaking, the only VR podcast you need for all of your VR news and updates. Today, we are here with a very, very, very special individual who everyone who has ever played the pinnacle VR game Bonelab should know, and if you don't, then I don't know what you're doing. We have Wigwam here today with us for a little interview.
Hello.
And I'm joined by the other two guys whose names I forget.
Yep,
Okay.
we're here too.
Yep.
Hello.
We are.
Of course, El Katoon, as I'm constantly reminded, and Quantum. We got just a few questions here. We're gonna probably take this in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So since Quantum is, I'm assuming, the most excited, take the first one.
Yeah, so starting the interview off, I'm just going to ask, where did your name come from? So where did you kind of come up with this Wigwam?
Oh, my name? It's a long story. Yeah, it's a long story. So
Always is.
on Xbox 360 many years ago, my dad had an account which was called Wigwam Man 72 or 71 actually. So I stole it basically, and I was called Wigwam Man 72 for a while, and then it was Wigwam Man, and then I started a VR channel, so I just went with Wigwam VR. Not very original, but
No, that's
I mean, it is very it stands out. Like you recognize it.
it does.
that's good.
It's
That's
not
good.
like, it's not like
Yep.
Virtually Speaking, which is already another podcast, but we don't talk about that. It's interesting though, because my personal favorite person that I've ever interviewed on the show, I believe it was Egoat.
And his name was also from the Xbox 360.
His was also from Xbox 360.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind
Very
of
common.
funny that that's happened twice.
It's
But
happened twice, yeah.
El
Okay.
Katoon.
Our next question is, what got you into content creation, or what drew you towards it?
Oh, ever since I was a kid, kind of, I was always just like, always watching YouTube, and I was like, man, I want to do that. I would love to, do that as a job. So I did it for I've been doing it for 5-6 years now, and I was very bad to begin with. But just kind of learn more. It's just a really fun kind of thing, because you can do it as just fun, and also, make money off it too at the same time. It's yeah, it's just a really fun kind of way to go, and it's fun to learn and observe and just see how YouTube works and stuff, and how you can adapt and do well.
Yeah. And also just the VR community and stuff is so fun to interact with.
Yeah, it's really cool hopping in and out of communities.
Yeah, we're a good group of people. We're better than Call of Duty or Rust communities for sure. They're a whole can of fish. I think we discussed that with Wigwam
Yeah.
actually. Anyway,
Yeah.
weird question, because I think I know the answer to this, but what is your favorite VR game?
It's actually kind of tough because, of course, it's Bonelab. Of course, it's Bonelab, right? But at the same
Yeah.
time, I don't know if I like Boneworks more. I don't know the difference there. They're kind of equal.
Yeah.
So it's really hard.
Ooh.
I mean,
I've never played either, so I don't know.
You're missing out, man.
yeah.
I
I think
there's so many things I gotta pay for though.
Yeah, true.
And then I think in our minds, some people will probably get very mad at us for this, but we kind of categorize them as both the same game. But if you want to go
Yeah.
over the differences, you can.
Sure, yeah. I'll go over the differences. I mean, they're actually about to be very similar, because there's an update coming which kind of levels them both out. So that might tip Boneworks over the top. I don't know. It might make Boneworks my favorite. But
Yeah.
there's big differences in the physics engines. There's big differences in the length of the story and stuff. It's kind of they are very similar though. Especially from an outside perspective, I can definitely see why you just think oh, that's just the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think you are referring to Boneworks coming to the Quest 3, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that update, which is also gonna the current physics engine which Bonelab is using is gonna be put onto Boneworks too. So they're gonna basically play the same, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So El Katoon, you gotta watch out for that.
Next one.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess this kind of leads into our next question, which is, why do you like Bonelab and Boneworks? What makes it your favorite VR game?
Ooh, that's tough. It's kind of just to me, it's endless. Like to me, other games I kind of get bored, but I play like stuff like Bonelab and with mods especially, obviously, and like just having a solid physics engine. It feels like it's kind of another reality. Like you can just go into Bonelab and be like, okay, I'm gonna mess around with this because I want to, or like whatever, and because it's so realistic with the physics, it's like it's like you can just play your dreams basically. It's weird. It's like you're playing your dreams. You do whatever you want.
I see where you're coming from. Every game ever with mods is the best.
Yeah.
Blade and Sorcery is the only kind of modded sandbox I've ever played. Terraria modded. I don't know
Oh,
if you've ever
I
played
have,
Terraria.
yeah. Calamity
Amazing
mod.
game with mods. And of course, oh my god, I hate Infernum. Anyway, and of course, Marvel Rivals new mod, 18 inches of Venom,
Yo, come on, bro.
is of course they're all classics. Mods make everything better.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Sometimes.
sometimes. Yeah.
Next question.
Okay,
El Catun.
what is your current view on the state of the VR community or VR in general?
Ooh, I feel like I'm kind of very outside on that. Like I don't really, because my brain is just Bone Lab and nothing else. I don't really like think about other stuff. But I think it's I don't know. It's like VR is selling so much, but I feel like most people buy it for kind of a one-time thing, and like people who are buying headsets aren't really like dedicated VR fans, which is like VR's doing good, but it's not really collecting. I don't know as many people as something else would. It's weird.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's gonna go into the future, but it's concerning in some ways. I don't know.
Yeah, because there's not as much like casual players. It's like if you play VR, that's like one of the only things you play, right? Like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
so invested in it. Like you're either in it or you're not. But
yeah, you're either
yeah.
super invested or like
Yeah.
not really playing it much at all.
Yeah.
Like a lot of have a Quest 2 in their closet or bookshelf just
Yeah, that's it.
dust.
Yeah. And then if you do like have it set up for PC VR, that's gonna be like you're maining that. So
Because it takes room.
and it's not as casual at that point either, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
Adding on to that real quick, it is my firm belief, and one person, maybe two, on this show, one of them being my editor, doesn't agree with the fact that I think that in 20, 30 years' time, it'll be a console war between PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and VRs.
Oh,
And I wanted to ask if you would think that like it's a possibility that down the line it'd be like you play this game on PC or do you play this game on VR or like what's like do you think there'll be a console war?
I kind of hope so because like I hope it's to a point where it's like there's like VR is an option for like most games or most things, like VR would be there. That'd be really cool, and like VR ports actually get good, I suppose, from games. That
Yeah.
would be really cool.
Yeah. Not like whatever Assassin's Creed was. That was terrible.
Yeah.
I honestly
The
did you
Assassin's
play
Creed
it?
Nexus port, that was bad. No, I've heard so many bad things about it though.
Well
Like just from YouTubers and you guys, and it's like, oh, it was not great.
yeah, Wigwam, do you have any experience with the Assassin's Creed game that came out?
No, I didn't hear much about it at all, really. Actually.
Yeah. I think it did fly under the radar a lot. It was just like the week it came out and then like nothing after that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was a
Yeah.
good amount of gameplay. Like I had a solid 15 hours of gameplay, which is a lot for VR because most story games like I don't know, like the
Don't have that much hours.
yeah, like it's a very short playtime,
Yeah.
which is what Assassin's Creed was really good.
All right.
I think it was just because people
Any-
were comparing it to the console version, which wasn't great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose can't really win that.
Especially because it was standalone exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you can't. It's like apples and oranges. You can't do anything with
It's
that.
a shame
Yeah.
though, because like
It's like VR Elden Ring compared to actual Elden Ring. It's like it's not a competition. Actual Elden Ring just slams that every day. It's not
Yeah.
even. It's not
and
even
that
close.
really sucks because like Assassin's Creed in VR as a concept like sounds awesome as shit, and like
Yeah.
anything else, like any sort of game, like I don't know, yeah, Elden Ring in VR. I don't know if that was like fully like gone in on. Like if they went all out on that, like it would be so cool. But like people don't do that. Like the
Yeah, like
developers aren't doing that because there's not much profit
Yeah.
in it, I suppose, in some cases compared to just the actual game.
and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that is what happened with Assassin's Creed is they weren't willing to put a lot of money into like producing it because they just even if they sold out the game completely, they wouldn't make a lot off of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
comparing just how much VR users and how much like console or PC users there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, time for my actual question. Did you watch anyone's content as inspiration for you to start YouTube?
Yes, definitely. It's I don't know. To start YouTube, I'd say that's pretty hard. To be honest, I can't even remember. It's been so long. I mean, it's
Mhm.
only been 5 years, but it feels like forever. Just really anyone. When I see like someone doing something, you like playing a game that I like or something, and they have like all these cool edits. They got loads of comments, loads of views, and I'm looking at that and I'm thinking like, that's really cool. I want to be like part of that. I want to know these people. I want to be to that
Mhm.
level.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically that.
This is kind of like sidetracked off of that, but who is your favorite Bonelab YouTuber, I guess?
Oh, don't
Or
make
like
me answer
yeah.
this. Oh God,
Someone's gonna get mad.
it's because like
Don't say yourself, it doesn't
yeah, I won't say
count.
myself. It's really tough because like I've spoke to like because basically all the big Bonelab YouTubers they were all my inspiration when I started, and now I
Yeah.
consider like all of them my friends, which is like wild to
Mhm.
me to start with. And it's so hard to pick a favorite. Like, I'm trying to think. I'm actually trying to like. I think Bam's great. I love Bam.
Yeah.
Bam's really cool.
I
Bambeo.
was gonna say
And
that.
then Narce's awesome. And like, it's tough.
Mini
Yeah,
battle.
send them our way, maybe.
I think
Yeah.
we have asked Mini Battle out to come here, but I don't think he's responded yet. So yeah.
We've also asked Timeless. And he
Well,
didn't
that's
say
Tabor.
anything, so
We're staying away from
I want-
Tabor for a little bit.
he doesn't do Tabor anymore. He hates
No.
that game. 'Cause
Okay.
it's dead. Also, Space Cadet Kevin.
I've never heard of him.
I want him on
Who's
the
that?
podcast. What? How? He's like the best Blade and Sorcery player in existence.
No, I'm not into that. as
Okay,
much.
because he's on TikTok primarily. That's
okay.
why you don't know of him, but he's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Next question, I believe, is Quanta.
Yeah. So because you've been doing YouTube so long, was there any specific video that you remember like got you your big break or like got like way more views than you thought it would or anything like that? Or your favorite video you ever made?
Kind of weirdly not, but what's kind of sparked me was I posted like some stupid clip from like Minecraft on Xbox, and it got like 250,000 views, and like
Yeah.
all of the views came from like Indonesia and stuff for some reason. It blew up in Indonesia for some reason, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, that didn't really budge me anywhere in like the long term. And
Yep.
especially on my VR channel, I've had a few videos which have done like pretty damn well, but none of them have really been like the one that's like, got me far. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So for you, it's kind of been like a culmination of all of them.
Like a
Yeah, just kind of slowly going up and up.
Yeah. What kind of videos do you like producing the most? I'd say.
What do you mean, like
Or like what's the most fun to make as a content creator?
like shorts or videos or like
Yeah, any of those.
definitely not shorts, I'll say that.
Yep.
I like what I like doing is I like kind of always having a big project in the background and then
Mm-hmm.
just doing my usual stuff on top of that. I do really like getting a bunch of people together and getting a bunch of information together and making like a mega video. Like I did the Bonelab iceberg kind of recently. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that. It was hard
Yeah.
work, but like it was really enjoyed it.
I saw that. I was told to like watch some of your content because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't heard of you until they were like, we're interviewing this Bone Labs guy, and I'm like, all right, because I haven't played Bone Lab, I'm
Yeah,
not
that's fair
involved in that community. And they're like, go watch some of his videos, and I watched some of them, and I came across the iceberg thing, and it's like, I'm doing an interview, but I'm not about to watch an hour and a half of this. I went to like the
Well,
end.
That
And
is
it
the
was
thing, is because it
interesting.
does cater very much to like the Bone Lab community. So if you don't
Yeah.
like, if you don't know the game, none of that stuff's gonna make sense to you.
Yeah, you're not really gonna get it.
Like the videos were interesting, and the thumbnails are really good
Oh,
in my
thank you.
opinion. It's just like I don't play the game, so I don't know half of what's happening.
Yeah, I completely understand that. It's like, you know,
So-
I mean, yeah, you're not part of the community, so you're not really gonna know what's going on, which is, you know, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big Tabor player.
Oh yeah.
I am not.
That's what started you off though.
What
I'd say.
Tabor wasn't my starter. Blade and Sorcery in our editor's basement, because I never owned a VR until then. Blade and Sorcery and Green Hell VR were my starters.
Green Hell
Then
was not
Pop
your
1, and then I got really involved during Tabor, and now
Tabor's
Tabor
been
sucks.
erased from history.
Yeah.
Tabor is so bad. Oh my god. Oh, anyway, no hate to Scott and all the lovely, terrible people at Combat Waffle Studios. All right, next question,
Okay.
Alcatoon.
If you could collab with any person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Besides us, of course, because we're the greatest.
Yeah. Like anyone.
Anyone.
Anyone, not even like a YouTuber, like Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, right.
Like you just sit in a room and introduce them to VR. Like anyone.
I think it would. I think it would have to be Dashi. Do you guys know Dashi?
No.
Oh, he's
No.
like a
Let
really
me look
funny
that up.
kind of
On
yeah,
YouTube?
YouTube. You might know him when you see him. He's had a lot of like viral clips.
Mm-hmm.
How do you spell that?
Dashie.
Okay, I thought so. Dashi,
Yeah, Dashi
Games.
He is so funny. Yeah,
Oh,
that
this
guy. I
guy.
love him so much. I would collab with him. I'd get him to play Bonelab if I could.
Oh, he did a collab with Corey?
Yeah, he's really good friends with Corey. They do like a lot of videos together.
Oh, I was so happy when Corey dropped that video and said he was back. I have never been happier
Yeah.
in my life. Oh, I know this
Yeah,
guy.
Dashi, play Bonelab.
That's a good pick, honestly.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
pick.
really love him. I would love to like meet him one day. I'll speak to him.
Mm-hmm.
Go to VidCon. He's
Yeah.
probably gonna be there at some point.
Yeah.
All right. I believe our last question here, and it's fitting that I'm doing this because I'm the host. Do you have any tips for improving young channels, which is a way to say how can we get better, or just younger channels in general?
Yeah. I don't know. On this point, I get asked this kind of a lot sometimes of like how advice. It's I don't know. I feel like I don't know too much myself at the moment, but in my opinion, what I've noticed is like just make sure you stand out with whatever you do, and you can do something similar to other people, but make sure like it has kind of your brand and your style, and like make sure when you're making content, you're making it like for someone and not just kind of not just
General
content. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
that's good.
it's hard to say, but that's just make sure you stand out, because especially with Bonelab, I see a lot of small channels which kind of just do the same thing as what bigger channels are doing, and like in that situation, why would they pick you over the higher quality bigger channel? So it's like you got to put a twist on it and make it like your way and your style as much as you can. Yeah,
that
that's
makes
what
sense.
I think.
Yeah, I agree. I was trying. This is a little story here that we're gonna do before we close. I was going to attempt to do a thing in, I believe it was me and Elkatoon tried it in. We tried it in Pop 1. That didn't work great. And we tried it in Meta Horizon World. That also didn't work great. They have a terrible building system. But our idea was basically we build. Like, I don't know if you've seen any of our episodes, but we always have like this little backdrop that was made in Blender by Quanta.
Oh yeah.
And our idea was basically to replicate that in VR and then actually physically be in like the podcast room and talking and doing dumb stuff while we like.
I've been wanting to do that in Bonelab with the multiplayer mod. Yeah, stuff like that where like you're actually in the room together.
Yeah.
That is like so cool to me.
Yeah. So if we could like dedicate a few hours, cough guys, after we record, to build that room, I think that could boost our popularity because it's pretty unique, and I don't see a whole lot of other
Yeah,
YouTubers
that
doing it.
if you can get that to work out, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Do you know? I don't know if you've done a lot of Bonelab modding, but do you know if it's possible to like import files from Blender and like models and stuff into Bonelab, or is it probably more of a process than that?
I think it's more of a process. You can upload them as mods, and obviously, you can turn it into a spawnable somehow and then upload it, or like you can make a map where it's in the map and then upload it. But obviously, you got to figure out how to do all that to do it.
Yeah,
which isn't the easiest, I don't think.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you guys want to say before we close here?
Yeah.
All right. All right, thank you very much, Wigwam, for being on today. We appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
To all of our viewers, thank you for your continued support and our whole 78
Yeah.
subscribers.
Let's go.
Subscribe to
Woo.
these guys if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Bonelab Jesus.
That's right. I'm
told you to
Bonelab Jesus.
subscribe.
Subscribe, guys.
Subscribe. Do it. Subscribe. Also, shout out to the person that joined our Discord while we were recording,
Yep.
Shout out the name.
which is something
out
that's
the
never
name.
happened. The name is, I'm gonna put Emi006, I think. Emi, does that sound right or no?
Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah, I think so. Right enough.
Possibly. Close enough. Close enough. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Have an excellent evening or morning wherever you are in the world. Trust everyone except Taborites. They're nasty little critters.
Borites, is that what
Yeah.
they're called?
All right. Bye.